Hello everybody, I'm actually having a consistent upload schedule today, yes, well today maybe, because guess what, Brittany Venti, the known hollow bitch, the hollow fucking piece of shit, made a third video. Yes, a third video, so now we have an entire fucking trilogy of these videos. So I'm probably gonna put them in a playlist, my first, actual YouTube video playlist, so that's Poggers and Based and Epic and Cringe. So what her video is basically a third clarification and adding on to it. I'm going to cut some shit, because the video is very long, and it's going to be a 30-minute video to color out on those bullshit. So we're just going to take the clips where she just spouts bullshit and very much debunk them. I will not take anything out of context, and you can watch the full video in full. I will link it down below like I did the others. So if you would like to see the original video, and I've watched the video in full. I've watched the video definitely in full, so let's go.
Hiyo everyone, I am back from people with anime profile pictures and Japanese names being absolutely rear-rammed during this whole Lolicon Hololive ordeal. And according to them, I deserve it and was asking for it for doing the unspeakable of criticizing child predators.
You were not criticizing child predators, you were criticizing a group of people who have no affiliation and are not attracted to children. They're just attracted to anime drawings of lollies. If you call a group of people pedophiles and child predators, they're going to react. They aren't going to do nothing. I mean, what would you do if a group of people started calling your fans pedophiles? You would obviously react and say, no, they're not pedophiles. People don't like to be slandered and defamized. It's not like a happy thing. People don't like getting lies told about them. It's basic human nature. It's what our brains tell us. We don't want to be put as a bad person. And you calling us Hololive fans pedophiles and Gawr Gura fans pedophiles is what that is. Don't call people pedophiles if you don't want to get backlash for it, even though the people you call pedophiles are not pedophiles. It's basic fucking logic. I've said basic fucking logic for like, what, many times, but just, it's not that hard. Just put it in your brain.
And criticizing their 2D wife, talking about how Clover is going to sue me over the Shark Girl for speaking poorly about their 2D waifu. Like, she's not real, bro.
It is not, it technically it is somewhat a fictional character playing, but you're fucking retarded. The character is owned by a company, and thus the company can sue you for blatantly lying about it, and their goal to have with the character. The character nor the woman does the VA isn't the one who's going to sue, it's the company that owns it. Lying about the character, which is one of the company's sources of incomes, will affect the real person behind it. Still defamation, because they're risking the standing of the company with these false accusations. It's pretty basic logic. It is defamation if you say, oh, they're not real. Calling someone a pedophile and trying to get them rid of their job and affecting the company's source of income is not an opinion. It's defamation. You can't just go around calling people pedophiles. You're saying, oh, it's a fictional character. Yes, Gawr Gura, the character, the image is a fictional character, but the VA behind it and the company and her fans are the source of income. And if you label them as something bad, that is defamation. If you label something bad, even though they're not, that is defamation. That is the definition of defamation. So stop defamizing Gawr Gura, her fans, and Hololive.
She's not gonna fuck you. She's a company product designed to appeal to you.
Of course, we fucking know that. We obviously do know that. We know she's a company product, and that, but it's like there's a meme of stop having fun. Like, dude, we know all of anime is a company product to appeal to us, but it's cute, and we like cute things. Yeah, we know she's not gonna fuck us. Why would we ever do that? Because, fuck it. 3D women suck, and 2D women are better. It's just objectively a better thought. Why can't you understand that? I know that weird awkward pause back there, but just understand that, it's just people like things for it being cute. Starting with the awkward pauses, my head is just going fucking insane over this girl. And this video while I'm looking at it's already 42 fucking minutes. So yeah, I might make it an entire 42 minute long video. Even though I said in the beginning, I'm not running on a fucking script. I'm not joking. That's when I'm speaking my mind. Because when I speak my mind, I know it's still like, and I'll do weird pauses, but like, you know, maybe I want to change something after the script. You know, I really like to speak my mind. That's what I do. But sorry, going off track. People like things for being cute. We don't care if it's a company product. We know that. We know she isn't gonna fuck us. But you're labeling a group of people pedophiles. We don't like being labeled a bad thing for something we like, even though we are not pedophiles. It is literally basic human logic. What if I know they would back, just stop calling people pedophiles when they're not, if you don't want to get backlash for it. We're not being simps. We're just saying, hey, don't call X a pedophile, even though they're not.
You a lot about the people watching your videos and give you a lot of useful information. Another thing I learned is that apparently if I have a criticism of any other content creator, even if it is a 2D girl that is a company product, that I'm just jealous, and because I'm a woman, my criticism will be invalidated because women, according to their logic, are incapable of having valid criticism.
Calling people pedophiles is not criticism. Nor is it calling people pedophilic criticism, nor is calling fans pedophiles. Your criticism and invalid isn't just because you're a woman, it's because your opinion is invalid because it's dumb and stupid and the argument does not work. Why can't you understand it? We don't hate you because you're a woman. We hate your opinion and you because you slandered Gawr Gura and her fans. Not everything's personal about you, honey. You need to understand that, little bitch.
Shark Girl and I have two completely different markets. Shark Girl's market is a mix of 14-year-olds and creepy men who like to watch a girl go goo goo gaga.
So, okay. Okay, signature. This one I know, yeah?
And
she isn't going goo goo gaga. She's making noises like how she's making little random noises like other VTubers do that are even more like look more mature than her or aren't lollies. Like I said, Corone does yubi yubi. They're just making random VTuber noises because random noises are cute. It's not goo goo gaga. Stop living in your little fucking fantasy world to prove your little fucking argument with your little echo chamber friends in your fucking comments and your fucking Twitter likes. Because that's what all it is. That's all I see here. You're just making up your own little reality so it can fit your fucking argument. That's what you're fucking doing. You can't just change and bend reality to make it fit your argument. That's not how arguments work. Like, did you like pass fucking school or some shit?
Watch the first video all the way through, and we already know that I gave several disclaimers and they continue to ignore them and make the same arguments over and over. The amount of coping I saw was absolutely ridiculous. Even when I provided counter arguments, they would just find another way to cope.
The counter arguments that you made on Twitter were horribly invalid, even though like you answered like the same thing, the same questions that didn't make sense. Like you would say like, oh, one person did bad thing in group, like you pulled up like anime shooter or some shit, and then you said, oh, that was proof enough, and then I thought, I said Dylan Claybot and, you know, they shot up a school, and they also played Doom. Doesn't make all Doom fans shooters? And I was like, well, actually, you know, you brought up, your counterclaims were entirely different to the claim that you were countering. So it was an invalid counterclaim. We're not coping, we're just saying that your counterclaim was invalid because it was totally different from the claim that you countered.
And do things like change definitions of words. And although usage of words may change over time, people like to change the definitions to suit their agenda. Despite me providing, for example, what the word lolicon means and how it derives from the term Lolita, which comes from a book about the narrator being sexually attracted to a 12-year-old, people didn't care and continued to use their own definition to suit their agenda.
I like how you bring up Google Translate, even though Google Translate isn't a valid source. Like, not a valid source, an inaccurate translating tool. You can't use Google Translate as a valid translating source. That's not how it works. You could literally spam the word A into fucking Google Translate and, like, for it to Bulgarian, it could come out as, like, I like cock or something. You can't use Google Translate. Like, everybody knows you can't use Google Translate, you can't use Wikipedia, because those two shits are stupid. You can't use internet for daily fucking life. Like, yeah, maybe, but you can't use it for everything. Go ask a fucking Japanese person what lolicon means. It doesn't mean it. It means roricon. That's what lolicon in Japan means. It's not pedophile. It's I'm just fucking crazy. It's just fucking insane that you think this, because you're using a source that you would probably say, if it was against you, you would say it's invalid. Like, it fucking hurts my fucking brain.
It doesn't matter that Epstein's plane was called the Lolita Express and how he diddled a bunch of little girls. It doesn't matter to them because the cognitive dissonance is just too great. They cannot cope with the fact that they are participating in...
Maybe because Epstein was, an actual pedophile, we aren't denying that, like pedophiles use lolicon. We're saying that, like, not all lolicons are pedophiles. Nor is being just a lolicon, like a non-pedophile lolicon, is like is pedophilic. We're not saying like pedophiles don't consume lolicon or are lolicons. We're just saying like it isn't pedophilic to be a lolicon or like lollies. That's not what we're saying. Yes, Epstein was obviously a pedophile. The reason he probably named is the Lolita Express is from the book, not lolicon, because at the time lolicon wasn't basically a fucking thing. It was like what? Late 90s when like anime just started coming to the West, so he wouldn't even fucking know it exist. He probably didn't even watch he didn't even probably watch Evangelion. He probably didn't even know what it fucking was.
Something that they find morally wrong, so they try to find ways to justify it. They don't care that lolly porn or lolicon is simulated child porn.
No, lolicon is not CP. I will actually bring up a fucking image from a verified and trusted lawyer. Hello, I'm a licensed attorney. I admitted to practice state and federal court. I have nearly 100% satisfaction rating. Click here for more information. That means thank you, countable yada yada. It is legal to possess CP. However, drawings and cartoons do not actually result in the abuse or exploitations of actual children. Accordingly, the Supreme Court has ruled that it is not against the law to possess something like lolicon because it is not actual child pornography, nor is it virtual pornography. I know it doesn't say that, but it's him saying that it can't be classified as child pornography no matter how many words you add before it, because it's not CP, it's not exploiting, it's not child sex abuse. For it to be classified as CP, it has to include a real child being abused and being raped. And lolly porn and lolicon does not have that because it is a drawing and it is not real.
Projecting an argument I didn't make, and how group cohesive comments and downvotes may leave somebody that's watching the video and that is conflicted in favor of the mob just because of the sheer amount of people saying that my arguments are wrong, and they won't bother to listen to the video for themselves and make their own decision. They're too busy being influenced by the masses of people that are brigading and spreading the video within their own communities to downvote it and leave negative comments, as shown by the analytics.
That's a lot of tough talk and cope for saying that your video is shit and formally made bad and made with no research at all. It's very a lot of big words and big hope and explanation to prove that your video is fucking shit.
And unlike shootings where everyone will know about it, with lolicons grooming, molesting, and even killing children. Because like I said, to them, these are not little boys and girls when it comes to using anime. They are lollies.
Oh, so I guess the shooter, the mentally insane person, we should listen to them, yes. Also, did you know the Christchurch shooter, when he was interviewed after he shot up the mosque in New Zealand, he said, "Were you taught violence and extremism by video games, music, literature, or cinema? Yes, Spyro the Dragon 3 taught me ethno-nationalism, Fortnite trained me to be a killer, and flossing the corpses of my enemies." So yes, I guess we must follow that logic, so I guess Fortnite and Spyro, the reason for the Christchurch shooting, and PewDiePie as well, because the Christchurch shooter, the mentally insane person, said it. Should we trust that then? And also Doom, you brought up the guy that had lolicon images and raped and murdered those children. Eric Harrison, Dylan Claybot had Doom. Are we to call Doom fans school shooters now? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? Because we're just using your logic against your own. You're really sounding like a really good 1990s conservative, even though you are conservative. Do you actually believe video games do cause violence? Because this is the same logic and mindset that they use.
And showed us to them. A lot of people have gone through this and have been sexually abused by lolicons, especially with grooming. There are more people than you think that were sexually abused by lolicons. I had a ton of people DMing me saying that they were sexually abused by them. And it's no wonder why they don't want to come out and talk about their abuse, because number one, it's a sensitive topic and maybe they feel ashamed or embarrassed. That's a common reaction to...
Those DMs are just one word against another. You can't, those aren't valid. They're just one word against another. Like, why are you saying it's valid? Like, it makes no sense. It's just a word against another word. Like, are you saying this is valid because some person that randomly DM'd you anonymously with no proof to back it up said, I was groomed by lolicons? If I message you right now and say, like, Brittany Venti vans groomed me, is it immediately true? And you only posted like 1 or 3 images. I know there's going to be those bad people in the fandom, always, but that doesn't represent the majority. If it's the majority, then that is the majority, but it's a minority. There's a difference between the majority and minority, but you can't see that because you're too incompetent and you want to stay in your little echo chamber.
Sexual abuse as a kid, but also the fact that people are straight invalidating them. I bring this argument up to people when they try to defend lolicons and say that they aren't dangerous, when in fact all pedophiles are a danger to society, and their response is that their abuse isn't good enough and that we should focus on the other kids who are sexually abused, because when you get sexually abused by a lolicon, it's not real, it's not valid, it's very real, and it's honestly about to become 1,000 times more real because nobody's taking it seriously.
Because it doesn't become seriously. There's actual studies. I can link them if anybody wants to know in the comments. I can link the studies down below if they want to know, but there's no generate proof that lolicons actually harm or do this stuff. Like, yeah, you may like 1 or 2, but that's always going to be in every fandom. There's going to be that one Call of Duty player that shot up his school, that one Minecraft player that killed his dad with an axe or a pickaxe. There's going to be that one person, and the claims that you brought up that lolicon harms have no proof behind them. We didn't say that. We said they were invalid because there's no proof behind them. There's no there's not even screenshots, at least. At least with screenshots you can fake them, but there's no screenshots, at least. Like, if you're going to make a fake claim, at least like make it believable somewhat. Like, at least provide some fake screenshots to, make it more believable. You can't, because if you're going to fake something, make it more believable. Like, damn, I'm better at lying than them, and I get caught all lying all the time.
And they're going to continue to subvert and make kids believe that it's okay to sexualize other kids. And they're going to grow up porn addicted at best and pedophiles at worst. People try to make it to seem like lolicons aren't dangerous and all they do is read manga or something, when the reality is there's real world consequences. And I have already suffered some of those from these people, with the threats, the harassment, trying to deplatform me, trying to sue me. For what? Because I had an opinion?
No, because you slandered an employee and a company, and their employee is their source of income. So you have defamated them and possibly hurt their income, which you have a big follower count, and a lot of other people are starting to agree with you. There's 2 big accounts on Twitter that are starting to agree with you. And if people collect together, that's going to hurt their income. They're going to go to the main Hololive Twitter accounts and then get them suspended or call them on pedophilic shit. And then guess what? Western journalists are going to pick this up. And then it's going to get so big that Hololive's going to get known as the pedo company, because all you wanted to do is just make clout over lolicons that do not harm anyone. You might, but this person harmed him and they had lolicon. Yeah, no, that's not an argument. It's one person. Not every lolicon is fucking children committing murder. Not everyone is doing that. The majority is not doing that. If the majority is, then show me if the majority is, but it's a minority. It's only like, 1 or 2 people. That's not enough to prove. You might say, not enough is to prove. Then I guess all video games are violent, everything is violent. I guess all Dexter fans are violent, all Breaking Bad fans are drug dealers by your fucking logic. Like, I know I'm repeating it, but like, she won't take it's an easy thing to understand. Fiction does not affect reality.
Because I called out pedophiles? Because I insulted some of their 2D waifus? Is that mentally stable behavior? Do we really think that these are well-adjusted individuals for doing all of this? And people want to say, oh, it's just a bad apple. No, it's actually the opposite. It seems like of the people who speak, a minority were decent people and the rest of them acted like wild animals.
Because you called a VTuber and her fans pedophilic, and you called lolicons pedophilic when they aren't. You called them pedophiles. These are repercussions for your actions. Don't fucking hit a bee's nest, don't hit a wasp nest or a bee's nest with a fucking bat if you don't expect to not get swinged. You hit a bee's nest willingly, you knew what you were doing, and you got stung back. You got disproven. And this doesn't prove that the majority is pedophiles. No, it proves that the majority doesn't want to be called pedophiles. That's what it proves. That's what it proves, buddy.
On Gawr Gura's stream, there was 80,000 people on her debut stream. There were over 150,000 views on my video. That goes to show that that's most of her community watching my video and responding like that. Look at the dislike ratio, look at how many comments there are, and look at how many are trying to say that they're going to sue me, harassing me, and look on Twitter how they act. And you're telling me that these are sane, healthy, well-adjusted individuals.
Yes, completely. They are defending Gawr Gura, and then as well, they don't want to be called pedophiles. It's simple as that. Just don't call people pedophiles when they aren't, and this won't happen to you. It's easy, buddy. Just don't do that. It's not that hard. Don't call people pedophiles if you don't want to get backlash for it, and it's not harassment. It's just a bunch of people replying to it at once. I haven't seen the same comment on your Twitter or YouTube. Or like people spamming like XXXXX. That's not harassment when one person doing it. It's called dogpiling. If you don't want to be dogpiled, don't post bad takes or don't call people pedophiles on Twitter and YouTube and a fan base of pedophiles. Don't do that. It's not that hard.
It is not normal for somebody to get this angry about me insulting somebody they quote-unquote just found cute on the internet. Especially considering that Shark Girl isn't even real. It's a made-up product from the company with a voice actress. I'm not saying that every single person who watches the Hololive stuff is outrageously crazy like this, but it does seem like an overwhelming majority of them are, regardless if they're lolicons or not. And to make it clear as well, I'm not arguing that Hololive, the YouTube stream, is child pornography. But you will find on Gawr Gura's Twitter that she does retweet fan art of her that is sexually charged. I mean, some of these photos are her in panties and looking up her skirt, and even one photo of her that was very lewd. She was showing her entire torso, like her boobs were covered, but then you saw all the way down until basically it cut off right before her vagina. That is not an appropriate image of somebody that presents as a prepubescent child.
It's not a prepubescent child. It's a lolly of a shark girl that is from Atlantis. They're not prepubescent. You can't just call them prepubescent because it looks prepubescent. You know, they're a shark lolly from Atlantis. Give me any prepubescent child that matches that description, has naturally colored hair like that, and has shark teeth. Please show me that. It's not that hard. Just please. It's not that hard. Just please show me it. Just please.
And not only that, for the kids that do watch her, they're being exposed to that and they're thinking it's normal and okay. And then they're going to grow up into adults and that's what they're going to be sexually attracted to and do the same thing, and the cycle continues.
This could be easily prevented if, parents monitor their children. It's not the tool itself that it's fault. It's the parents at fault for not monitoring their children on the internet. It's not that hard. Just monitor your children on the internet and they won't end up like this, Brittany. You're starting to sound like people who blame video games for violence. It's the parents' fault, not the tool itself. It's not Gawr Gura's fault that a child be exposed to this. It is the parents' fault for not monitoring their children. Please understand that. Just please. It's not that hard. I've said it's not that hard many times, but it is. Guess what? Not that hard.
How are you going to argue that the shark girl isn't lolicon bait when she's literally retweeting sexually charged fan art of her? It's an endorsement for other people to do this as well so that they get retweeted by her. People want to make the argument that others are watching this innocently. Let me ask the women watching, how would you feel if you walked in on your husband and he was absolutely obsessed and fixated on this childish stream, and then furthermore, you see that he goes on her Twitter and scrolls down and there's a bunch of lewd photos of what looks to be a child. And he turns around and tries to explain to you, actually, I'm just watching her because she sings city pop songs. Yeah, sure, I'll believe that there's women and children innocently watching because something cute aesthetically appeals to them, but for men, they find it sexually attractive. Not that men would have sex with a kitten because they find it cute, but that is what's beneficial for them biologically. They want a young wife, so they're attracted to youth so that they have a healthy child. Men are sexually attracted to this. So if you see a guy fixated on this, it definitely rings some alarms, just like bronies do. Like, what are you doing? You're a grown-ass man watching My Little Pony? It's creepy and it's a red flag, and being sexually attracted to her is a reason that a lot of guys from their 20s and older are watching this. I have a hard time believing they're just watching it to watch it. There's how many other entertainers in the world?
Question. Why are you saying, oh, if he did it how do you, it's not a prepubescent child. Just because you say it looks like a prepubescent child does not mean it is not a prepubescent, it doesn't mean it is a pure prepubescent child. Sorry for the little stutter right there in a little bit, but she is not a prepubescent child. She is a lolly, a shark lolly. Two different things. Please just understand that. There are very two different things. It's not that hard to understand that they or a lolly, not a child, or a prepubescent child. Just please understand that.
World to choose from that are more entertaining and interesting. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. We could take a look at Twitch. All of the top streamers, 99% of them are men. Most of Twitch's viewer base is men. Therefore, you can conclude that men like watching other men. So it's really weird when they're fixated on a little girl going and then you go to her Twitter and there's a bunch of lewds retweeted of her and an entire section of the fan base that does sexualize her, because why wouldn't they? She's retweeting these sexual images too.
You're saying it like it's a bad thing.
It's really not good for anybody to be exposed to, and I think that I have been absolutely vindicated. Vindicated Venti strikes again between them acting absolutely unhinged as a community, the lolicons and the Hololive people, as well as the shark girl being lolicon bait. And I think that there's a lot to support my opinion on this. But no matter how many studies I present,
presented no studies at all on your Twitter or YouTube. The only study that you presented was about regular porn, not lolicon or anime porn or hentai, just regular old porn. Very different. You provided no studies about lolicon at all.
No matter what I say, no matter how many things support what I'm saying, it will always come down to the cognitive dissonance of predators saying that I'm just jealous.
The definition of predator is someone who wants to fuck an actual child, not a lolly.
Because they like to assume that everybody is attracted to children and wants to look like them like they do. As well as the holosimps using this invalidation tactic as well. I really cannot believe that people will support this after seeing the Pixiv images that were censored in the last video of the little kids getting sexually molested and peed on, like literal babies being touched, and I don't even want to go into it.
If you consider it CP by your logic, like if you consider it CP by your fucking logic, then why are you posting it and sharing it? Kind of contradicts your entire argument. Are you a closeted lolicon too?
Just so disgusting. The same sexualization you see in MLP, and they both use the same excuse, the bronies and the lolicons. They say, why can't I just like cute things? Well, I don't find the normalization of sexualizing children cute.
Liking lollies does not normalizing sexualizing children. It doesn't normalize children being sexualized, and you have no proof to back that up other than studies that have nothing to do with lolicon or anime or hentai or anything related to that topic or thing.
You can reframe the argument all day, all you want, saying it's just cute things, but I know what I saw on Pixiv, and I know what I saw in all the Twitter replies where these lolicons were proving me right, replying to my tweets with lolicon porn. You guys have successfully proven how deranged you are, and what
I can also restructure the video games equals violence argument to disprove you as well and make you look insane and retarded and all that shit.
a danger you are, and I really hope the FBI puts lolicons on a watch list. I want to
Damn, supporting free speech violations and privacy violations just because you disagree with a certain thing, bro, kind of seems kind of fascist of you.
close this video out by saying, if you haven't noticed by now, the message was never about the shark girl. In fact, a lot of the video wasn't even talking about her at all. She was used to help bring awareness of how this community acts and how lolicons act, and they proved me right.
The lolicons never proved you right. They proved you wrong. You're just saying that because you want to feel better. How did we prove you right? Just because we just acted just like deproving you being non-civil, that isn't proving that we're pedophiles. It just proves that we're not civil. That has nothing to do with the argument. And it has nothing to prove that lolicons are not pedophiles.
But despite her not being the focus, and even in some tweets not even talking about her and just addressing lolicons, it's all that people cared about. Meanwhile, in the second video where I presented a lot of data, I'm talking about how 50% of Japanese women were sexually harassed, Japan's porn addiction problem, children being a large percent of the sex crime statistics, including sex trafficking.
The statistics are very, very, very low compared to other countries, and even by themselves are very, very low. It's like 3 to 2%, so I don't know what the fuck you're getting at. It's not 50%, it's very, very fucking low.
Which was the compensated dating Enjo Kosai. All they care about is their product of a company that they simp. They don't care about Japan or the Japanese people. They only care how they can use and consume Japan. What have these people done to protect children or Japanese children?
I haven't protected any, basically fucking Japanese children, but I have protected Czechoslovakian children by getting a known pedophile on Discord in Czechoslovakia who fucked his sister. His name was Marty. I got him arrested and put him on house arrest and many of other things, so that's what I've done, and many of other lolicons have taken down. There was this one lolicon by the name of, I forgot his name, but he also took down the biggest CP dealer on Twitter. I think his name was Toph or something. He did that, but apparently he still got called a pedophile when he was a lolicon for some shit.